Hello all. So till now we have seen different type of maps being created in leaflet.js, but with the help of different values. For example, with the help of GeoJSON that we saw in the last chapter. Now we are going to focus completely on importing external data from Leaflet. So for example, this is your map, but the values over the map will not be like customized or static. It will be fetched from a database. So for this, the primary prerequisite requirement will be like you need to install XAMPP or WAMP server, which is a LAMP stack. You can say which consists of Apache, MySQL and PHP along with the JavaScript, which will help you to integrate or to import external data inside the leaflet. So why we need XAMPP and LAMP? Because it has database extension with it, that is MySQL. If you check out for this is my PHP MyAdmin. So here I'm going to create a new database, and in this database I'm going to include some of the values, for example the latitude or the longitude, which needs to be displayed in the leaflet thing. So let's first important thing you need to understand is that GeoJSON includes considerable amount of spatial data, which needs to be filtered only if few of their attributes are being utilized. So sometimes it's very important to import data from the database or some other external resource. For now, the best example is importing from MySQL. So let's create a database. My database creation, I will do it with the help of a query. Although in PHP MyAdmin you can do with the UI perspective, but here I'm doing with the help of query. So that is create database and the database name, that is HomeDB. Okay, so I've created the database. Okay, the HomeDB is already there, so let's create with some other thing like home leaflet db. Okay, so my database has been already created. If you will check out over here, so it's already there, but there are no tables. As you can easily see, no tables found in the database. So first and the primary thing you need to do over here is to create a database, a table. Like for example, my table is world data, which will have 4 columns in it. So I have created the table. Now to include the attributes, or you can say the column names for the table. So let's create the attributes or the column names for the table. The attributes will be ID. This will be the primary thing. ID with the integer value. It will be a primary key. Okay, so I have assigned a primary key over here. Name. Name can be your city name, for example. It will be varchar. Value will be 25. Here I'm giving 11. This is specifying the length and values. And next parameter will be latitude. Obviously this will be a decimal, so I'm going to specify the decimal value over here, that is for example 10. Latitude and longitude, so this will be my second decimal value, decimal again with a value of 10. Okay, so for now I have done this assigning a primary key to ID thing, and my storage engine is InnoDB. Now I am saving the database. Okay, now I've created the table, but there are no values in the table. So the only way to create values in the table is just by inserting some of the data values. So my data values will be, for example, I'm inserting some columns. So first is ID, I will specify as 1. City name is New York. Values of latitude is 41. Longitude is -74. So where do I get these values of latitude and longitude? Just for your reference, I will show you. Getting latitude and longitude. So this is possible with the help of a website called latlong.net. If you feel like getting exact values for any city. So for example, I'm giving here New York. So let's see. So approximately it is 40.71. So for here I'm giving 41 and -74. So in this way I'm saving some of the values. The second values is for Boston. The values are 42 and minus 71. I have fetched the values online the way I showed you previously. So now I'm saying go. Okay, so two values have been inserted. In the similar way, I will insert three more values. So the next one is Atlanta, and the values are 35 and minus 79. Okay, and fourth value is Miami, which is also a city in United States of America. So Miami value is 26 and minus 80. And again I'm going to insert. So first of all, I've inserted two more values. One more value we'll insert, that is Houston, and the latitude and longitude values will be 30 and minus 95. Okay, so I've inserted all the values. Let's check out if the values have been inserted properly. Yes, it has been inserted. Now the next thing is to connect with the database with the help of a PHP script. So here I have created a folder. My folder name is MySQL Leaflet, and over here I'm going to like create the files with respect to this project, like connecting or importing the data source from the Excel. So now I'm going to create a PHP script. So for example, the values, let's save the PHP script. First of all, it will be connect db, and so that's all. For connection in PHP, you need the host name, username, database name, and also the password. So first of all, let's declare the variables for the same. Username, the username is root for my particular instance. It can differ for any other thing. Password is nothing. Password is nothing. Okay, and we have a host name, which is localhost, and the database name. So now the last entry is with respect to the database name, which is home. If you can check out over here, it's home leaflet db. So I will just copy the way it is, because even if there is a spelling mistake, it can give an error. So it's home leaflet db. Okay, so it's the same. Now the next thing is we need to connect it to the server. So the connection will be like server and mysql underscore connect. That's $host $username and password. That is host name, sorry, host name. Check out if the variables are proper, username and password. So this will help me to connect. Host name, username and password is a primary thing. After that, I need to select for the particular database, which is very primary thing in PHP. A PHP user, a PHP developer can understand it very quickly, but in layman terms I can say, first of all, we connected to the database with the help of you can say connected to MySQL, in short, with the help of hostname, username and password. Then later we select the particular database. So it is done with the help of PHP function, that is MySQL select underscore db. So there it asks for the database name and the server. So server is nothing but this one, which helps the connection. Okay, so I have done the connection over here. So now if the connection is successful, it is obviously give you a proper message. So let's include that thing also, like if connection is successful, or you can say if not equal to dollar server, like if the connection is not obtained, well in that case echo connection lost, or else echo connection successful. Okay, so let's check it out by, or you can say let's try with our own. So first of all, I will check in my localhost if it's working fine or not. So this is my folder where I'm creating the database connectivity in short. Yes, connection is successful. It means it has connected successfully to the database structure. The next thing is like executing a query. So we have a table named world data which includes some of the values, 5 columns, just 5 rows which we inserted right now. So let's create a query for that. So my variable will be my query, and the query will be like a simple MySQL query, that is select star from world data. Okay, so this is my query. Now I'm going to execute this query. So that is also done with the help of a PHP function. So again I'm declaring a variable MySQL underscore query. Here I will execute my query. It's always beneficial to include different variables because you will get to understand what all variables have been used for which functionality. So that's why I'm referring to the variable point of view over here, for example host name or query and all that thing. So now the next thing is executing a query. So if dollar query is, that's if you don't get the response, so that's the only thing. Query if not equal to query, then execute a function that is echo MySQL error. This is also a functionality which throws an error. Okay, else echo query listed. Okay, so this is a way to understand it. Let's run the same page again. Query listed, if you can see over here, it means that it has properly connected to the table, and the table will fetch whatever the rows which is needed as per your requirement. So this was like connecting to the database. Now in the next chapter we will fetch the values and then we will display the particular output in the screen. So let's move on to the next chapter.